The wait is over. You were waiting, right?
Oh, God. No. Please, no.
The end is nigh. Darwin and Cat are back.
There's always been a good idea and a bad idea proposed to Darwin and Cat. And then one time we proposed a good idea and then we made it into a kind of bad idea. This episode is called They Left Us to Die in the RV of Joy.
And it started out great. So, as we talked about before, radio, is very connected with the community. And we wanted to do something kind of stunty and fun that would bring attention to the Darwin and Cat radio show, but, also help people. So I thought, hey, Darwin, let's fill a truck with food for the food bank, and we won't leave it until it's full. Look, a stunt, fun, good for people. What could go wrong?
One day, right? Yeah, you're thinking like a day or two, right?
Yeah, like a day, maybe a weekend, and then, done and done.
Right. And then I think subconsciously, because I did not want to go home to the person I was in a relationship with this time, maybe that's what inspired this. I said, no, I got an idea. How about we live in an RV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until it's full? We get a sponsor for it and we'll try to just make this a big deal. And lo and behold, Price Chopper, which is now Market 32 and Price Chopper, the grocery store chain in the Northeast, they didn't usually spend money on our station because our demo was men 18 to 35, who I guess they thought didn't grocery shop.
Yeah, they don't eat food. They just go to Arby's. That's it.
They have the meats. They did not pay us for that, but if they would like to, we would gladly take the money, Arby's.
Please email Darwin and Cat.
At what?
I don't know. Are we that far yet? Do we even have an email?
At darwinandcat@gmail.com.
There you go.
I mean, we don't even have...
Yeah,
yes,
quick.
It's free.
Check see if we can get that.
Do we have it? I'll check. Whatever. We'll see if someone emails us, then we'll know. So they ended up they agreed, but then they don't own a lot of their properties. So they said, we have to get this approved through our landlords because, they rent their locations. And then they gave us a list of possibilities. And I think they gave us 6 or 7 to pick from. And we narrowed it down to 4.
Right. So then you got me up to date on all this. And I said, okay, 7 days, an RV. Yeah, I think we can do that. But then, Darwin, the sales team ran with it and they sold this as a more than 2-week event. So
yeah,
it was 2 weeks of living and broadcasting on an RV in a parking lot in the middle of winter. So there was no bathroom,
nope.
No showers.
Nope.
And we did end up calling it the RV of Joy. With a name like that, really, really, what could go wrong?
We were asking for it. It's like your theory on naming your cat Lucky. You should have just called it Crushed Under a Minivan.
Problem. If you name your cat Lucky, or if you have a cat with a number like Lucky 2, there's always a sad story. Never say, hey, why is that Misty 4? You don't want to know about the first 3. RV of Joy was a doomed name.
From the get-go. And I found the poster that was hanging up in Price Chopper from the promotion. And I sent you a picture of it. I will probably have to put this on the website at some point. I never realized it says no child should go hungry. It should say no radio people should go hungry.
He forgot about us.
There's all these sad children on it. I forgot that was the poster they used.
I love that the poster says live remote from DJs Darwin and Cat. They had to define what we do, not just Darwin and Cat. They're just a couple of people loitering.
And they put in the radio station logo was hideous. I always hated that logo. It was so dumb. And there it is on a white bad background on a brown background.
With crying, hungry babies on top of it. No picture of us, which is fine. I'm not saying our faces have to be splattered everywhere, but just the sad children.
Who made this decision? Like, this was for the food bank for everybody. It wasn't just, it's great. We do agree, but I'm looking at the dates. So we were trying to remember the 4 locations. I know when we were planning this. So Clifton Park, Brunswick, Bethlehem, and Wilton. That was our order. December 3rd through December 16th. Oh my God.
That was not filling up a truck with food for a day or 2.
I did this to us and I am sorry.
I don't know. It was the salespeople who ran with it.
That's true. They made it 2 weeks. We just wanted to make it like a couple days. But at the bottom, I never realized bring in any non-perishable food items 24 hours a day to any of these stores. And people did.
Yeah.
24 hours a day to the RV.
Well, that was the coolest thing. That was, well, first of all, let's talk about getting set up in the RV of Joy. We were like full of hope. We were like, the kids are going on vacation, and we were just so excited to be there on the first day. And people started bringing, bags by like the Price Chopper. Inside the Price Chopper, they even had like these bags that were already pre-filled that you could just buy and bring them out to us. And we started filling up this giant RV with so much food. And what do you remember? Do you remember any of the people that came by, or any of like the cool experiences we had at first?
Yeah, we had some amazing people show up, and it depends on. It's funny that some stick out in my mind. Certain locations. When we were in Brunswick, the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Department took up a huge collection of money from all their officers, and they surprised us with a giant check. They brought us
awesome
swag. Yeah, and I still have the sweatshirt with the little badge on it. I don't know if you're the green. They gave us like these sweatshirts,
cute.
Which, as we'll get into, we needed because we were freezing in there. But this
is before the disaster hit.
Yes, that was on the way to it. When we were in Bethlehem, I remember this veteran showed up. And do you remember this guy? He had one arm, and he showed up, and maybe it was like 8:00 at night. It was getting late, and he rushed there after work, and he brought 4 carts overfilling with food.
And he told us, I remember this because he told us the food bank helped him. The Northeast Food Bank helped him when he really needed it, and he wanted to give back. And I'm like, oh,
that was incredible. He came home from war, from defending our country, fighting for our country, and he had no help. And the food bank was the only one there to help him. Yeah. So that's always stuck in my mind.
So these are the moments that I thought, we're doing this for the right reasons, and we were doing it for the right reasons. It was really deep and meaningful.
But it wasn't easy. There were a lot of rules. So I guess we should describe this RV, right? So first of all, sleeping. There was a bed.
Mm-hmm. And we are not a couple.
No. And I gave you the bed, and I took the couch thing.
That was very gentlemanly of you. Thank you.
Once in a while I can be. But eventually you lost the bed because we covered it with, remember it got covered with food?
Yeah. There were like tons of niblet cans and
and I think I was sleeping in the driver's seat or something. Mm-hmm. And it was good. We were filling it up, but bad. So we couldn't go to the bathroom on it. That was a big rule. They're not emptying the shitter.
No.
That was a big no. We had to go into the Price Chopper to go.
I think they told us don't make brown on the bus.
Or pee even. We couldn't do either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any color. Don't do it.
And we didn't want to poop in the Price Chopper. So we would be able to go home for 1 hour a day. Do you remember that? That was the rule.
I think that was more your thing. Not that I was really dying to do my biz in the Price Chopper, but you were adamant. Like, I will not shit in the Price Chopper.
No way. I couldn't. I can't. I couldn't. And I held it 24 hours a day.
Not you actually physically couldn't. I mean, I don't think we were getting a lot of fiber on the van.
No. So that was an issue. We couldn't leave the generator. So the way the RV was set up was we had propane for the heat, but it didn't matter if the generator wasn't running, which ran off the gasoline, which we were told by the radio station, you can't leave that running. We don't want to pay for the gas. It's expensive. That was a problem because we couldn't have the generator on all night, and we were sleeping like freezing because the heat couldn't be on. That was one of the rules too. So there were all these rules that were from the RV people and our people as well.
Mother Nature had something in store for us. Everything was
nice snowstorm.
Everything was going fine, and about 4 days in is when it took a turn. Early morning, we couldn't get on the air, first of all, but you worked your magic, and you had like a coconut and a string, and you got us on the air. And soon after we got on the air, we realized that a blizzard was coming in.
And by the way, the reason too we couldn't get on, nothing was working, was I couldn't get the generator started.
Oh,
because it was so damn cold. I had to get the RV running. Remember, I had to turn on the RV and let it run for like a while. And I had a backup system that I got us on the air with through like my cell phone, which was crazy, but I got us on the air. And we were, it was so stressful. And then finally we got the generator started probably around 7 a.m. And that's when we start to read what's going on in the world. And blizzard blowing in.
Biggest of the century, batten down the hatches. And we're just looking, and we're just in the middle of a parking lot in an RV with our doomsday food, which was not for us. And that is the next problem. So we've talked about before, you don't make a lot of money in radio, especially on a mid-market show. And we didn't have any money for food. And our respective relationships at the time weren't exactly bringing us like a hot dish, to eat. We were just left there.
I don't even know if mine showed up at all. Maybe once.
Once. Same for me.
I feel like mine showed up to complain or to ask where like a bill was or something, or if I took care. I feel like that was, I don't even feel like it was like to bring me food or see if I was alive.
No, it wasn't. So we were getting hungrier and hungrier each day, and we were just looking around at all this food, and it's like, God, should we bust open a can? And you're like, no, that's for the poor. And then we both went, but we are the poor.
Look at those children on that poster. That child will go hungry if you eat those niblets.
They should have crying DJs on the poster. Help them. But we didn't do it. And we were just so hungry. And people were bringing more and more bags of food.
And then occasionally somebody would show up with food they were eating, and they wanted to, because people would come hang out with us. Listeners came, they would be in the lunch break. They would just come hang out with us. And I just remember there was one Anthony. He actually worked for Price Chopper Corporate at the time.
Yep.
And
he's a cool dude.
He came in and yeah, he's great. I ran into him recently at a different grocery store, actually. And he was like, I think he brought something to eat, and we were sitting there staring at his food like, help us.
Was he the one who came by with shepherd's pie in a Tupperware?
I might have been.
Somebody did. And I was like,
food.
is that mashed potatoes on top with this a little crisp?
We were literally starving. And the irony of this, it's funnier now, all these years later. But at the time, it was not very funny.
But we were about to freeze to death. So what happened? Do you remember what happened with the propane?
So yeah, we go in one morning. I get the generator going, right? Because then we had to they had to bring us. Oh no, our promotions director Joy would drive it to the next location because that was when we go home to shower and get a little break, and she would fill it up with gas and all that, and we were good.
Thank you, Joy.
But Joy, nobody told her that we also needed the propane tank filled. And we went to go put on the heat, and there was no heat. And then I realized, we ain't got no propane. So we called the boss.
We could barely lift the phone to our ear.
We weren't that bad.
Okay, well, I was
like
hungry.
You're making it dramatic. I like it. We were in our last gasps of movement, saying please. We were like in whatever happened to Baby Jane when she's laying on the beach and she's like, Jane, I'm dying.
And that RV was our crumbling mansion.
Jane, help me. And then, so we call and we're like, yo, we have no heat. This isn't good. And they said, can you get on the air and see if one of our listeners works for a propane company? Maybe they can come fill it.
You're saying we should get on the air and beg to not freeze to death.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically told us, get on the air and see if someone can help you. Which I know at this point, we have been so patient with everything. And I really think I got a little nasty on the phone to the people we were talking to. And I was just like, this is completely bullshit. This is ridiculous. Seriously, we are giving up all of our free time. We're doing this for a good cause. The least you could do is find somebody so we don't freeze to death. We're starving to death, but now we're going to freeze to death. And we went all day with no heat until our promotions director, Joy, God bless her, she realized we were begging on the air for it and nobody could come help us. Because,
so
the guys that drive the propane trucks don't own the propane in it. They can't come help us.
They wanted to help. They couldn't help.
Correct. I remember one guy pulled up with a big propane truck and he goes, I'd like to help you, but I can't. But I'll give you some food.
I'm sitting on a pot of gold here, but I can't share it with you. And it wasn't his fault.
He meant well. But Joy found somebody finally to come fill it up. And then they told us that would cost a lot of money. So try not to use the heat too much.
After they said that, that's when we looked at each other and realized they left us to die. They just left us to die.
We are in the thing called an RV of joy, and they just left us to die. Figure it out on your own, they said. You're resourceful, they said. I don't know how to make propane. Do you know how to make propane?
I mean, I was a Girl Scout, but I didn't get a badge for that.
So this was the night after we were starving. We were miserable. We were in Wilton. It was basically Saratoga. And you were just all of a sudden digging in your purse. I feel like we were in the middle of this. There was like the second snowstorm. This is the other like blizzardy storm that came. There were like two storms. And I remember that you were like, it was miserable and you're digging through your purse and all of a sudden you pull out a credit card and you said, Darwin, we're saved.
I think I got about $15 on this baby.
And we called an Italian restaurant that was fun. You had more than that. I mean, you put it on your card. It was a damn good meal.
It worked. Remember? Awesome. Yeah, I do. It was
we
so
called,
good.
yeah. And we had them. They also brought us 2 bottles of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good wine. Thank you.
Kept
You
us
saved
warm.
our lives. Yeah.
My pleasure.
It was good red
Happy to do
wine.
it.
It was good Italian. We didn't die. But that was the night where we finally got heat. And you were like, we're eating like kings tonight.
Mm-hmm. We are going to feast among the canned goods.
And we were sitting on them basically. All the food we couldn't touch. And, I don't think, should we keep some leftovers? Like, should we keep those rolls for Thursday so we don't die?
Got to bank ahead.
And during this whole thing too, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this, my face, because I hadn't been shaving as much, and when you start to grow a beard a little, it gets so
Yes,
itchy.
I do know. I'm Italian. Hi-oh.
So we both needed to shave, basically.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was looking grizzly.
I didn't have my Mach 5 on me for like 2 weeks.
We were like, oh, but I was just like, that was like one of the best meals I ever had in my life. I don't even know what I had. All I know is there was Italian food. It was wine. You saved our lives, because the next morning we would have been dead.
It was, we ordered the most highly caloric food. I think we got like seafood fettuccine with cream sauce. I mean, something that was going to like hold us for a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. That I didn't do because I have the lactose intolerance and the whole making brown.
Oh, that was me. That was me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some, but I remember something, whatever I got was like really like substantial. And the wine was great, but that was also the night too. We were sitting on what was left of the couch because we are quickly filling this thing up with food and we're running out of places to sit.
Which is the awesome part, because there was we really didn't have any room to move around. We had to like crawl over all the food to get out.
It was slightly dangerous, but it was like, wow, look at all this food. All of a sudden you look down on the cushion, you found a pill. And with the last gulp of wine, you just put it in your mouth and whoop. And I was like,
oh no,
what are you doing?
This comes out now.
What? The pill? Yes. This has for years been a gauge in my life. I'm like, can I take another Excedrin? Can I take an extra IV? Kat took a pill she found in an RV once and didn't die. So I can take this pill. That's been my gauge for years.
All right. So you're setting it up like I just took some random pill out of a couch cushion in an RV. Like that's
that's what happened.
Okay. That's actually not what happened.
That's not what happened?
No, because my purse was there and it was a Claritin. It was just a Claritin.
Stop it.
I may have set it up like I was taking peyote, but it was just for allergies. I know. I'm just not as cool as you thought.
Wait a minute. All these years.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, I can take an extra pill. Kat found one and took it once. And it was just a Claritin?
Yeah, you're fucked. I don't know what you took.
Wow, there goes my gauge. Now I don't know. What? Oh no. Really? It was just a Claritin?
Just a Claritin.
It's still a funny story. I mean, I'm gonna stick with the story as I thought it happened. All right.
Just keep it as LSD in your mind.
Hey, no, I was just like, Kat found a pill. It must have been a good one. I don't know. Claritin.
So aren't you glad we're talking after all these years?
Yeah, this is the healing part, right?
This is definitely closure and a new beginning at the same time.
And all the secrets we kept from each other.
Yeah.
Like, how to drive stick.
Yeah.
The pill wasn't good.
I mean, the
It
whole
was just
time
Claritin.
I faked not being able to drive any station vehicle with a stick. I don't know. I'm a girl. What do I do?
I am so disappointed. I thought the pill was
If only the
good.
stick had a flower on it, I'd be more interested because I'm a girl. No, I learned to drive on a stick. I told you that. Yeah, recently.
More secrets to be revealed, I'm sure. So as we're living in the RV, Albany Broadcasting is sending interns over to quote unquote help us. And there was one in particular, and I'm not going to say her name, but we were getting a little sleep deprived, which we've talked about, a little screwy. And also I remember we were trying to take a nap because, before we even get to the intern, why were we so tired? Who woke us up at, I don't know, 3 in the morning? Does a gotcha.
A gotcha news van that wanted to expose that Darwin and Cat are not actually there, that they just come in the morning fresh as a daisy. So it was like 2:30 at night. We finally just fell asleep and we just hear knock, knock. We're like, what the, So you go to answer the door and
it's Channel 6.
Channel 6 running away, like literally running back to their news van, clutching their microphones and their cameras. And we're like, bye.
They were the only one that did not cover it either. Like Spectrum came or Your News Now, whatever they were called back then. Channel 10 showed up. We'll talk about them too because they were awesome. Even 13 covered it. Mm-hmm. Channel 6, they tried to pull a gotcha as if we weren't really there. And I feel like one of our, some jerk that didn't like us called them and said we weren't really there or something.
Mm-hmm. And what did
We
they
were
get?
really fine.
They got two dazed and confused and sleep deprived morning people just looking at them like, what? Oh my God.
And that was
Why
when
would
we'd
you
have to
do
get
that?
up at 4, you know? And so we were trying to take a nap, and the intern of the day showed up because I don't know why they were sending us interns. I don't. Maybe for the hour we went home. I don't know. And she shows up and she's just rambling on and on and on. And I said, and I don't know, I misheard her name or something. And I'm like, Nutella, we're trying to sleep. She's like, it's
What'd you
not
call
my
me?
name. Yeah. What'd you call? That's not my name, Nutella.
And I'm like, umbrella. It's umbrella, Darwin. She's like,
And
my
she
name
was
is
like-
not umbrella.
We called this poor girl Nutella and Umbrella. I don't know, you know, like, because we were so tired. I'm like, shut up, girl. And
Close
then
enough.
she
You
just-
know who you are.
I think my favorite was when you get annoyed, because I'd get annoyed first. You were always like, you know, good cop. I'd be bad cop. You were the nice one. I'd be the bitch, right?
Yeah, but I did have a fuse and it would go off occasionally.
And it did when all of a sudden Umbrella Nutella said, you know how out of nowhere, we're almost asleep. We're an inch from sleep. And she goes, you know how birth control doesn't work?
And I'm like, what?
You sat up. You sat straight up, eyes open. You were like,
And
What?
I said, Nutella, what birth control and how are you using it? Because I just had to know. And she goes, well, the pill doesn't work. And I'm like, yes, the pill works. She goes, well, okay, so you think you're going to have sex. So, you know, that's when you take your pill. And I'm like, no.
And then you go, girl, you have to shove it in your mouth and swallow it every day. And you're doing this hand motion. No, not that hand motion.
Oh,
no,
a different one.
Like shoving the pill in the hand motion.
And she's like, yeah, but I'm not. And she doubled down. She's like, yeah, but like, I'm not going to have sex that morning. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way.
Even I know that. And I'm not good with girls.
You're
I
right.
knew
But
that.
you know that.
And then all of a sudden, we wake up from our nap, which wasn't much of a nap. And we're like, where's Nutella?
Where'd she go?
Where is she? Where the hell is she?
Nutella.
And then we hear like, help, help. We're like,
Darwin, did you hear something like outside?
I think it's coming from under the RV.
Should we go look?
It might be Nutella.
I think it's Nutella.
Should we go look?
I guess so, yeah. Maybe she lost
really
her,
have to?
her birth control
Right.
pill rolled away.
She met someone in the parking lot that, yeah.
I'm going to have sex. I have to get it. It's under the RV.
So we go out there and sure enough, she's caught under the RV. A roll of banners had rolled under the RV and she thought it'd be good to crawl under to get it. Although it had rolled out the other side by this point.
Yeah, but
And
she couldn't.
Her wasn't her like jeans are caught on something under the RV and then I
Yeah,
had
she
to
was
crawl under there
fully
and get her.
stuck. She
Yeah.
could have died under there. We could have died in the RV, but she could have died under it.
Well, I could have died under it. It was my job to go get her.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then we finally set her loose and I think we texted Joy and we said, please don't send her again. But there was nobody else available. So the next day, who's there again?
Hi, Nutella.
Oh, she's back. So she's talking to us. And we're like, so what do you want to do? Like when you're done with radio school, like you're an intern.
What are your goals?
And she goes, well, I guess they'll just give me the morning show on B95. And I don't think it took us a good 10 minutes to stop laughing.
Far be it from me to crush anyone's dreams. I started in radio and 10 months later, I'm on the morning show with you. But it doesn't really happen that often. And it never happens. And it wasn't going to happen for Nutella.
B95 was the #1 station in the market. The morning show had an opening. She had no idea how radio worked. It's not like they just place you with whatever's open. And she sounded so disappointed about it because she wanted to be on one of the other stations. She's like, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to be on your station. I don't want to be on CMR. Ew.
She didn't want to be on B95 either. I guess they're going to give me the morning show. And we're like, oh
I
my
guess
God.
I'll do the morning show on the biggest station in the region. I mean, if they make me, basically.
Because her resume consisted of never had been on the air and crawling under the RV and not taking birth control pills because they don't work.
Yeah, I'm
That
like
was her
heading over to
resume.
her LinkedIn to see if that's all still up there.
Nutella Umbrella.
I wonder if it was worth the college credit that she got from us. I mean, can you imagine we're helping her graduate college, us, stuck
Well,
under an
somehow,
RV?
So who else was going to help her?
That's true.
I mean,
yeah, no,
she was,
that's a good point.
Never saw her again after her internship. She just kind of faded into the ether somewhere. I don't know. She did not get the morning show. I hate to be a spoiler, but
Oh, no, wait, because I haven't been living there, for, over 10 years. I just thought she would have been on all the billboards.
I don't know. She hasn't. Nope. Poof. Gone. gone. So we ended up just having a good, it was a good experience overall because the people that came, as we mentioned, Channel 10 came, Christina Rangio and Steve Ammerman, they came, and remember they hung out with us. They did the morning show.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're really great. Christina's still on Channel 10, and Steve was running communication for the Farm Bureau, and I think he has a job now with one of the state agencies in New York, and talk to him every now and then, which I'd love to get them both on one of these episodes sometimes, just to get their experience working in the TV side of things back in the day.
I think I actually still have their numbers in my phone.
And we're so fancy. We got famous people's numbers. Famous to us.
Famous in Albany. Famous to us.
Yeah, we really think about the listeners that came by, and I think about, like you had mentioned earlier, the connections we made, the people that came that just got to meet us or just to hang out with us and catch up. And it was really great. It was somewhat exhausting talking to so many people.
No, but it made us realize that, like, wow, people actually really love this show and they really like us. Like, wow.
And I really appreciate, not only did the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Department take care of us in terms of a donation, but remember they had a car they were just kind of keeping in the parking lot at night just to keep an eye on us, and other police agencies did that too. It was such a great cross section of society that came together for this cause, and I think they gave us a lot of credit that we were actually, they got it. People got it. We were living in this RV hell, I mean of joy, and we were...
Because the food bank helps so many different types of people. I mean, it's not just like, oh, one type of person goes to the food bank. It is just a cross section. And we met so many different kinds of people. So yes, ultimately it was worth it.
It was such a big deal. When we finally got done, our wonderful, amazing promotions director, Joy, who I love Joy, one of the best people you could ever have working for you in the world. She drove the RV back from Saratoga Wilton to park it outside the food bank, because the next morning we were going to go do the donation.
The loading,
and that night was our Christmas party for Albany Broadcasting as well. And nobody had seen us for 2 weeks, really. And, we went home, and I remember shaving, and it felt great. And we went to the Christmas party, and I was like, you guys are alive. We're like, we haven't shipped for 2 weeks, but here we are.
We're a little backed up, but we made it.
We are here. And it was, I just remember being so exhausted. It was hard to have a Christmas party, but it was really a night. And I remember we got recognized too by the company, or somebody got up there and mentioned, Darwin and Cat didn't die. You left us to die, but we didn't.
And when all is said and done, we raised 3 tons of food and thousands of dollars for the food bank.
It was the largest donation in the history of the food bank in terms of food, not money wise, but food wise. They had never received so much. And they were so grateful because they were so, that year especially, short on food. And I get chills when I think about that.
I know. I love that.
The economy, that was during the recession, and the economy was, we were at the start of that recession and things weren't good. And not only were people so caring and generous, the fact that we set a record for 3 tons of food. I mean, that RV must have been dragging down the Northway with Joy driving.
With Nutella under it. No, she did. She did escape. She did. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure she got out.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe that's why we never saw her again. She's still attached to that RV somewhere out there screaming. I don't know.
Suddenly 48 Hours is investigating us. The disappearance of Nutella.
Channel 6 will show up at our door again going,
where's Nutella?
Poor Nutella. But it was great. And I think we're both really proud of the outcome.
Very proud.
Despite the 2 weeks, I think. I don't know. What I think if you had to pick one thing in your life that was the greatest thing you've done for somebody else, I would pick this. This would be number one, top of my list. That
and rescuing my cat from a sewer.
Oh, that might be ahead of this one. I'm just saying, because the internet's paved with cats, right? Not you, like kitty. Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
It's going. So, hey, good job on it. Would you do it again?
I would actually do it again, because I think we would do it differently, and we'd do it even better and raise more cash and get more food in there, and be careful what you wish for.
Because we might have to do it again. Wait, what? But I agree. If you were, well, first of all, because we're living in different cities. You're in
Las
Nevada,
Vegas.
still, yeah, you're in Vegas, and I'm, in New York still. If we were to do that, you would have to bring your spouse here.
Of course. Because this is not the same spouse as the one who left me to die in an RV.
Okay, same with me. I have a wonderful husband that's great. And
whole new life. Yes, same.
Yes. who I know both of the people we're married to, but actually come see us and bring us food and actually make sure we're good and warm and make sure we have propane.
They would make sure. They probably even bring us multivitamins, fuzzy slippers, anything.
Yeah.
They are good guys.
And maybe even one of those little like portable commodes they use for old people. So if we need to make brown, we can just do it in the parking lot. I mean, people do that with kids all the time.
We are and we're very close friends. So maybe there's some like communal DJ toilet.
Yeah, I think you might be one
broadcasting
of the only people
live from my shitter.
You might be one of the only people I poop in front of.
You know, that's true because I don't want to go to the bathroom in front of my husband.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay, is that how we gauge our friendship?
Right.
I love
would.
you so much I'll poop in front of you.
I totally would because it would just be funny.
There's a compliment in there somewhere. So I would do it again as well. I think it would be, like you said, a different scenario, a little more organized, a little bit more fuel, and just a little bit more food, just a little bit.
One last thing I remember, which caused more complications for us. We were both healing from getting tattooed.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. We had the day before. That's right.
I had this fresh tattoo of Dave Kitty, my beloved Dave Kitty, on my arm, and he's stepping on a cloud of stars. But if you look at it, it looks like the stars are coming out of his butt. Is that because you slept on it weird? It didn't heal right. Like our tattoos were not healing because we were under so much stress that even though we were taking care of doing all the things we needed to do, it was like, is this looking crusty and deformed to you?
Actually, that was when I got Mr. Bacon.
I love Mr. Bacon.
Yeah, he was a little bit, but Dave Kitty was lower on your arm. I forgot all about that too.
I'm trying to show you. Yep.
Dave Kitty.
Yeah,
Dave Kitty was the best.
Yeah, you're a good boy.
Was that 2000? What year was that?
2007.
Was it 7 or 8? 7?
Yeah.
Because that's December. Yeah, that's right. Because we did the Tattoo Expo on the 2nd, which was the Sunday. And then Monday the 3rd, we were at Clifton Park. And it ran through this. I'm looking at a calendar from that year and I'm going, oh my God. And it was 2 weeks and a day. 2 weeks and it was 2 weeks exactly.
So now we're giving tattoo advice. Do not freeze and starve in an RV and try to heal your tattoos.
No. Just remember hopefully now the title of this episode makes sense. They left us as I screw it up. They left us to die
in the RV of joy.